Peach or Brady. My online name is Peach. You can find me at a few different things there. We'll have that all below. I'm joined by what are you going by? Are we calling you Nick? Are we
Yeah, we can. It's
going
fine.
by Nick? All
Yeah.
right, we're going with Nick. We'll have all the applicable tags below for you as well. But yeah, this is just kind of like a weekly thing we plan to try and do here. We're going to be yapping. It's a free space for us just to shoot the shit, talk about mainly WoW, keep it mainly WoW. But if I see something cool on Twitter, fuck X, we're going to be talking about it if we want to talk about it. There's absolutely no structure when rats are at the wheel here. So a little bit about me. Me and Nick have started several guilds together throughout the expansions. I think we started playing together in Mists of Pandaria, if I remember correctly. Us and a couple of high school buddies, we started a few guilds, mainly heroic, AOTC. That's kind of been our bread and butter. You stopped playing for a bit. What did you stop playing?
Uh, like midway through WAD.
Midway through WoD, yeah. I think the only time I stopped playing was season 2 of Shadowlands. It was just that we don't need to talk about that. Shadowlands is garbage. I'm sure we'll talk about it eventually at some point, but fuck Shadowlands and everything about it. Yeah, stop playing there. In Shadowlands though, the only bright spot of that expansion for me would be finding the guild where the name of RatYap comes from. We met rats. I met them in the wild. They took me in. I ended up being the raid lead, and here we are, AOTC every season since Sepulchre. So it's been fun. You kind of joined us. You were a little bit in Sepulchre and started Dragonflight. Not so much season 2 though, right?
No, yeah, I did season. I didn't do AOTC. I did normal, and then I just stopped playing like briefly in season 2, and then I came back before season 3 started.
Right.
In Dragonflight.
And yeah, we finished out Dragonflight together. So going into War Within, it's looking good. What do you got?
Yeah. So I mean, I haven't really. I didn't start with WoW. Mainly started with FPS games like COD, Halo, the usual 12-year-old video games of, you know,
Classic.
you getting roasted for being 12 kind of thing. Played a lot of those. Once I got into that was more like Xbox gaming, and then I didn't start getting into PC gaming till I was like I think it was like 16, and that's I think was roughly when End of Cata was happening because that's when
Yeah.
I made my trial account, and then it would have been I didn't really like play too much a MOP. Like I didn't get crazy into it. Like I maxed out, did all the dungeons and stuff like that. And I think I maybe did normal. I didn't even do like I think it was Siege was like the only like full
Siege.
raid I cleared on normal.
Right.
Other than that, I was mainly still just playing FPS games like CS:GO and that, and then like playing a lot of like MOBA, like back in the day, Heroes of New Earth, which then I transitioned over to Dota and stuff like that.
Okay.
So there was a big WoW break in between. I mean, as for RPGs, I sunk lifetime amount of time into RuneScape. That was
Oh yeah, you're a RuneScape kid.
so is yeah would transition into WoW, but you never quit RuneScape.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
take long breaks.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, no. Other than that, next topic into
Yeah. Looking forward at the War Within. Uh, Early access came out Thursday, right?
yes,
It's been
August 22nd.
I don't know how much you watch Twitter. I watch Twitter religiously. It's a lot of people don't like early access. I don't know. I haven't noticed. I mean, we've been playing it all weekend. I haven't noticed much of a gain that I'm getting over other people, like anyone who's not playing it.
No.
The gear that's going to be replaced on, I guess tomorrow. By the way, because I didn't realize the expansion launched tomorrow. I thought it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
Um, but the gear that we're going to be getting tomorrow is just going to replace everything we've been doing this weekend. So
Yeah,
I
like
don't think
at this point it's like it's questing gear. It's the same stuff that comes out
World Quest gear, like
every
open world.
expansion. Like
Yeah,
it's my geared characters from Dragonflight still have Dragonflight gear.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah,
it's
for
like
sure. A lot of it you don't drop until level 78 if you've been spamming dungeons
y-
and you're getting good drops.
yeah, it's okay. The only bonus I guess you might get from early access is like some of the rares that are on like slightly
The
longer
timer.
timers.
Yeah.
You might get a better chance at killing them.
I've been doing a lot of farming. I've been farming a lot,
Yeah, and
trying to
like
push my jewel crafting and my mining.
but then like right now too, like everything in the auction house is severely inflated.
Oh yeah.
Like I just
Oh yeah.
made I think I just made like 5k off of like engineering mats.
Yeah,
And
I believe it.
it was like it was not a lot. It was
I
like
sold
25 mats.
there's these items that I'm getting from mining. They're I don't know what they're called. This little red node. You get five. You give it an item. I sold one of them for 16k.
Yeah.
One item.
Yeah.
I've been getting these red things. Not like a high amount, but I have three so far.
So it's like I guess like if you're the one buying them and you're like a rich wow oligarch, I mean, sure, like you win building things faster than other people, but it's just like
Well, I mean that's how they get the market, right? I miss being on. We're on Kargath and that cluster. When I was raiding with a separate guild in season 2 of Dragonflight, I was on Proudmoore, a much higher populated server. Dude, I was getting all of my crafts for like, I probably the most I paid in a tip was 3k,
yeah.
and that was like to get it right away. Here, man, on our server, I find people are like 12k, 15k gold, like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
But it's like but at the same time it's like early access doesn't really change it. Okay, the prices might change a little bit, but it's
No,
like
yeah,
if it's really a complaint, just go to a super high pop server, do the
yeah.
4 hours it takes
Well,
to
I
max.
read online you could do the warband stuff now. You could put
Well,
it in
yeah,
your
yeah,
warband and grab it out of your warband. So
yeah. So like,
it's you could go buy all the BOE shit. You could just go buy on a separate server where it's cheap.
but
Put it in your bank.
that's what I mean. Like, just don't put all your like. You don't even have to have all your characters on the same
Yeah,
server cluster
spread it
now.
out.
You just spread it out and then
Yeah,
buy it on a server where it's like a couple K cheaper if it's something
yeah,
expensive.
yeah.
Like,
Did you see what they did to make um tailors a little more unique in their gathering?
no.
You can only you'll know I don't know if you've noticed, but you only gather cloth. You know how you used to gather the new cloth of the expansion off of every humanoid? You
Yeah.
can only get it if you're a tailor now. So it's kind of making
That's kind of nice. Yeah.
I like it. I mean, my
Yeah.
warlock was a tailor last expansion,
The only
and
like I think the only thing that would be like nice about that is like it'll keep prices higher.
yeah,
But I mean,
and you
if
can still get from like mining and herbalism.
yeah.
You can get some of them are like webbed. I don't know if you've
Oh
seen
yeah
that,
yeah yeah.
and you'll get some of the cloth from
Oh
interacting
okay.
with that node. So
Okay.
other farming mats or professions can get them,
Can
but
get it. Okay. Because like the other thing is like yeah, it keeps prices high. So like if you want to sell, like you're gonna be
mhm.
making bank. But at the same time, it's really annoying that like
It used to be so easy to like max out your tailoring, dude. If you
so
had 10k gold, you were just buying everything
buying
with
every
10k gold.
yeah, and like I understand they don't necessarily want that, where it's just like
No.
day one, how are you max tailoring? It's like, oh, I just bought it all because it's
Yeah,
three silver
because
on the auction house.
my main had enough gold to just
Yeah,
buy my way through tailoring
where
school.
it's like some people's mains probably still have enough to max out. It's like whatever, but it's just like it's gonna hurt the pocket a little bit more, kind of thing.
So the other thing I read staying on professions was I don't know, I didn't notice this until I read it, but you'll be getting a lot more quality 1 and 2 materials, and you
Mm,
won't see quality 3 very often, like for the ores and
yeah,
the herbs. Because they want you to be each like mining and herbalism, you can refine them and put them up to a higher quality.
yeah.
They want you to be
S
putting it
So
through the
they want
refined
yeah they
process.
want you to refine it more than getting it
Because,
naturally.
dude, I didn't use the refining process one fucking time in Dragonflight.
No,
I've never used it.
no,
I just either farmed or bought higher rats that I wanted.
I did a little bit of leatherworking and like I never refined actually
Yeah,
ever.
ever.
And if I
Yeah, it
didn't
was
like
kind of.
I would just I would almost get rid of all the level ones and twos. And I would
Yep.
only hold on to the threes. So anytime I killed something, I would just keep the threes. And if I didn't have enough, I would just go buy it.
It's possible that I was missing out heavily by not refining. I don't know. Maybe, but
I don't know.
We
got
got through
yeah,
Dragonflight. Of
got through
gold,
the
so
expansion just fine.
yeah,
Character has
yeah.
still got money in the pocket, so.
They also reduced like embellishments were super important in Dragonflight.
Hmm.
They were kind of like required for certain ones. Like I know I had a lariat on my demon hunter the entire expansion.
Mm,
You just kind of had to, and my
had to.
warlock had it for a while too.
Yeah.
But they nerfed them a lot. But I still think you're gonna want because the crafted gear eye level can exceed or match the mythic track. I think if you upgrade it all the way, so
Yeah.
you're gonna still want. I just think
It'll be
they're
an
kind of
early
if
high piece, if
yeah they're
anything.
like
Yeah.
the effects that the embellishments do are so meh. Don't really do a lot anymore.
Yeah. Well, like,
But
was it season 2 Dragonflight, the craft one? It was like a cheat death?
yeah, the cloak.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
that.
my warlock got it like first couple runs of that with the other guild I was raiding with there, and I was making bank.
Yeah, like, and okay, they probably don't need to do that.
Yeah,
Like, because season 4 was you had to go get like the cheat death through, like, tank cheat
from
death through
the
from
yeah,
the
it was just the
mega.
tank cheat death.
But it's like,
Yeah.
keep it that way. Don't make a cheat death a crafted
Well, the
item.
cloak was like everybody had to have the cloak.
That's what I mean.
There
It was
was
just like
no way you were doing any meaningful hard content without a cheat death.
without it, and it's like it
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It kind of it limits you the way you can play significantly.
Yeah, especially that if you could have moved the cloak enchant from or the cheat death from cloak to anything, like if
Anything
it
else?
was like a patch that you could
Yeah,
put on instead
yeah,
of like the cloak itself, that would have made it a lot more even. I
yeah.
mean, it was fine. They nerfed it into oblivion. I don't know if you remember that. It got fucking
Afterwards, yeah,
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 windmill dunked into the void.
yeah. Which, to be fair,
It was
it should be though.
yeah, yeah. It was good. It
Because
was
like
good in its time.
the season 3 enchant you get from completing the raid, any point after that, all the way until the end of Dragonflight. Like, I don't, we won't know now, but I mean, it might still be good to keep on to throw onto your helmet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it'll work. It probably shouldn't work
It
above a
probably
certain
shouldn't work.
level.
Yeah, it probably won't,
Yeah.
which is good in a sense because it's just like it's a mandatory thing to have.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then, like, by the time season 4 happened, if you wanted to push any like Awaken content or Keystone still, you grab that in both the rings that got proc by fire. So if your class didn't
Yeah.
even do fire, you were still doing fire damage.
You're still procking it.
Yeah, so it was just like
Yeah.
it.
I remember that's what I did on my mage. I didn't realize, or no, because it was on that rotation,
Hmm.
and I couldn't. I just missed the Immunosil as I started playing my mage in season 4.
Hmm.
So I did all my keys. I got both the fire proc rings. So I was playing arcane. Couldn't proc it. I
Yeah,
had 2 rings of absolutely nothing because I didn't have the enchant.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's. I understand like why they do that sometimes. Like that's obviously somebody found that and was like, hey, do this way kind of thing. But it's just like
Yeah.
they didn't implement any change to it, so it just stays like that for an entire season, and it's like that's the meta of the whole season. So it's
Yeah.
like if you're pushing any high content, it's like, oh, you don't have these 2 items.
Season 4 though,
It
whatever.
didn't really matter too
It
much.
didn't really matter.
Yeah, but it's just
I'd
like
like to see something different going forward for season 4s.
yeah, it would be nice to implement some live change to it every now and then. Like, I mean, they could have let it stick for like, a month or something and be like, hey, we're gonna nerf these numbers a little bit. And then it's like everybody's like, oh, it's not really worth it to have these anymore. We'll find something
Yeah.
else, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just keeps people retained in a sense where it's just like, I want to push high keys. The old method got nerfed. It's not worth it. Let's
Yeah.
try to find something new. There's got to be an item
Yep.
somewhere that was equivalent or better.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Speaking of keys, actually high keys, did you see the raid buffs got reduced? Arcane Intellect and Chaos Brand. They got
Yeah.
nerfed from 5% down to 3%.
Mhm.
That's a crazy nerf. Crazy nerf. It kind of makes. I'm not certain. I mean, we're not title holders. We're not fucking MDI. It's the reason you're only seeing us here for the first time. But we're not mole peoples. We're not mole people, as the term has been coined. I think I have a reason to think that this is going to make the caster meta a little weak, and it's going to make melee
Yeah.
buffs or melee comps a little more viable in Mythic Plus. We'll see. But I actually just heard, side little tangent here, um, all throughout beta testing. So you know how you've seen the Mythic Plus changes,
Yep.
like going 12 and higher is kind of like no gear increase. It's just for bragging
It's
rights
yeah,
now.
yeah.
It's high end player push, right? Um, all throughout beta. So the 12s and higher have a different affix that replaces 11 and lowers affixes. So it's the same every week. Um, that wasn't on the damage bonus, like the damage effect of that affix for the mobs was not turned on throughout the entire beta testing.
Oh.
So just the health increase of the mobs and the bosses was added, but the damage that we're going to be receiving was not increased.
So it was just you were just number flexing essentially.
Yeah, so it's possible these keys are gonna fucking truck us. So on beta, like I was watching a couple higher end streamers doing their keys. They were doing like 13s, 14s when they were like kind of sweating a little bit, right? The numbers that I heard, and I'm not certain, just hearing, that's gonna be the highest will be if the numbers are properly applied. If I understood it correctly, will be a 12 that would be pushing. Like 12 would be a high end key
Yeah, yeah. And
just due to the raw numbers.
it's kind of nice too because it's like I liked when they essentially stat squished the keys where it was like a 10's a 20 because
Yep.
it's like you see this like oh first plus 30 Atalda's
Yeah.
lore and then it's like okay it's like and all it is just like it's just finding cheese ass strats of like
Yeah.
how can we snap the mobs all into one spot and just keep them Ataldadar.
Ataldazar's highest key was 4 DPS in a tank. Did you know that?
Yeah, like that's
That,
on
that was,
the MDI.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like it's cool that that happens, but it's like it's not realistic in
Yeah,
like
you kind of
a
you want
retail
healers
play.
to have a reason to shine.
Yeah, it's like all
Healers need
right,
to be healing.
and like I understand why they did like the nerfs with like the int nerfs and stuff like that because it's like you have to keep moving classes because it's like
People hate when something is meta for far too long.
yeah, and that's what I mean, and like Boomy was pretty good. Season was it season 3 and 4
Season
or
one. Season one
was it
their
season 1?
kind of,
But
yeah.
they were starting to pop off again towards the end.
Yeah, a little bit. They were just, I mean, at a certain key level, like they
Yeah.
were hard capped because they just got one shot above like 15 or 16, whatever it was.
Yeah, and but it's like even like I was doing like playing Hunter at like the end of season 4,
Yep.
and like the amount of like the numbers you could pop off were just ridiculous without
Yeah.
even like trying like
But
with
you know
no
what though? I
setup.
was thinking because the numbers and details now they look kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like they're big numbers, man.
They,
It's like misappend area numbers before the big squish, and
yeah.
that's got me fucking excited because I know it's all arbitrary. It means absolutely nothing, but I hated when they dropped our numbers down and miss. My
Yeah.
warlock with the right trinkets, and there was a talent you had at the time where you could like steal health from your voidwalker. I
Mhm.
had like 2.5 million health as a fucking warlock. It was sick.
Yeah, and like and I understand why they stat squish, but it's just it's
Absolutely.
fun to see big numbers like especially
We would have
like
been in like the fucking trillions by now, or
well yeah like even at like I was talking about this the other night with another friend and like we would be like what is it level like 170 180 if they didn't
yeah, if they didn't level squish.
level squish and stat squish
Yeah.
like we would almost be level
Which
200.
again would have been so arbitrary because it just would have been numbers,
It really doesn't
but
matter.
it doesn't matter.
I,
It
d-
really doesn't make a
I
difference.
don't know if it matters like on their end for when like they're making
It
new
might
content and that's why
possibly.
they do it. It's just easier to squish everybody down.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't. I'm not gonna pretend to know how that works.
Cause like I don't understand, or if it's just like a thing of they don't want new players to feel overwhelmed, where it's like, oh God, I got to get to 180 levels. Like,
Yeah, the old days.
yeah, and it's just
Dude, could
like,
you imagine like a new generation gamer coming into WoW and they're like 200 fucking levels?
What do you mean your item level 2,500? I started at 5.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
that's probably has something to do with it, like where it's just like, hey, by the way, it's not that crazy. That guy who has been playing for 15 years is only level 70. And you're like,
yeah.
I can do level 70. Does a dungeon,
They
pretty
would just
much
have to
levels
make
up.
like they would have to make it. I mean, Chromie time kind of fixes it, I guess. You could
Yeah,
easily like amplify the experience you get if someone wanted to play through just an expansion.
yeah, and like
Um,
that I think that's why they stat squished as well. Is just like it makes it
easier.
easier
Yeah,
for the person playing, and then as well as like easier for them just to keep numbers in check.
yeah.
Because I mean, at realistically speaking, if we were never to have a stat squish, it would be like we'd be level like 180, and we'd be like item level, yeah, like
Fucked.
2500. And
Yeah.
like right now at what is peak item level gonna end up being like
The highest you'll get this
600, 600.
season is 620 something, I think.
Yeah, so it's like okay, and like right now you have DPS classes that can hit for like 3.2
Some are
mil.
finishing, yeah, like 3.5 mil in
Yeah,
attack.
like executes and stuff like the warlock the destruction one where you can get like the minigun chaos bolts.
Oh yeah,
Um
yeah, the Diabolist.
the flip version, instead of the spawning the demons that shoot the chaos bolts, you spawn the demon that with
You
like
can
the pike.
spawn you can spawn the Big Mommy, who's like the art multi-armed chick.
Yeah,
You can spawn a Smolderon, who's
yeah,
basically just a Smolderon model.
yeah.
And then the other one is the
Is the
big
melee one like is like
yeah, with the big axe.
yeah.
And he
So
does a bunch of melee swings.
that one has like an execute style move for like
Oh
PV.
really?
Like, he has like a build up move where it like he runs over, charges it up, and then smashes it down. I watched like a whole montage of this dude playing it, and like he was like in arenas murking people for like again
Yeah, dude.
3.2 million. Like he was just one shotting them with it. So it's like
Yep.
if we never had that stat squish, it would be like the number would be a billion instead. And it's like it's
Yeah, yeah,
at
instead
that
of a
point
million.
at that point, it's probably hard to keep the number on the screen to see what like the actual
Yeah.
number is.
You would just everything would just be shorthanded anyway, so I
Y-
understand. You understand the scat switch. It's
Yeah,
all like I said, completely arbitrary.
yeah.
But
But yeah, no. Going back to like the after we completely derailed the train.
super tangent there.
Going back to like the nerfs and stuff like that, it'll be nice to see like a more melee. I mean, people are still gonna
I
play.
think so.
People are still gonna play Demon Hunter for like the Chaos Burn and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
they still at the end of the
And
day they still have a lot of survivability.
I just don't want Vengeance to be meta. I'm so tired of
It's
it. I liked it. It was super fun, dude. It was super broken playing with double sigil. Like, if you knew how to use it, you were just absolutely unkillable.
it was the perfect tank.
Utility god. It was the perfect tank.
It was God
There's
tank.
actually nothing that could beat it.
Yeah.
I'm totally happy that the double sigil is gone. As fun as it was, I don't want Prot to be good again. Or sorry, Vengeance to be good again.
Vengeance. Yeah,
That is, I mean, I do plan to play tank. I'm kind of pulling the trigger and just running with Brew. We'll see how bad that feels once we start pushing keys.
might move
Um,
over to Prot or
I'm thinking Prod or Blood DK. I'm not sure.
I mean
Prot Warrior,
you could play Guardian Druid again. It's
Guardian Druid could be good too. I mean, because
it's
Resto isn't that great. I've heard.
yeah,
And you're gonna want Mark of the Wild
yeah, that's what I mean. So but I mean, Mark of the Wild, as long as there's in a raid setting, as long as there's one druid somewhere,
for
whether
keys
it's
though. Like to push for like title keys, right? You want these, especially Mark of the Wild versus so strong
yeah, yeah.
for keeping things alive.
Well,
But
which one
I'm
does
curious.
Evoker give?
Evokers is a joke. It's the
I-
speed boost. It's
Is
like
it speed boost? Yeah.
your well, it's not a speed boost. It's like your whatever your class's mobility button is. It's like
It's
reduced by
reduced.
20%.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
cooldown. Yeah. It's like a joke buff, but I would like to see as fun as the Aug is. You're playing Aug actually.
Yeah, probably. Right
For
now
the
I'm been leveling just as
you've been leveling as Prez,
Prez.
right?
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
if I need to get into a dungeon, it's insta.
Prez is so fun though. I
It
like that's so to go on that. I was thinking like Aug is. I would like to see not Aug dead, but I would like to see it brought to a point where Prez is also playable and bringable to a Mythic Plus comp instead of Og.
yeah,
Prez is so fun.
I
It's such a good healer.
I've been having a lot more fun with it than I thought I would have especially for like a
Yeah.
healing spec. I mean,
Yep.
because like the last time I played a healer would have been like Castle Nathria.
Yeah.
I
You played
I
Disc
I
Priest.
played Disc, and like Disc
Yep.
was fun at the time. I heard Priest isn't too hot to trot for Holy and Disc right now.
I've heard they are in deep shit.
So I mean, I won't be touching my Priest at
Won't be
all.
going there.
So I mean, I might play Shadow eventually, but
I've
who
heard even
knows?
Shadow, the Void Weaver hero talent is just not great
No, yeah, and that's what, like
numbers wise.
I've been enjoying the Chrono Warden. I don't know. I'm
Hmm.
probably not really gonna try the other one because this one's fun. I enjoy
Yeah.
shooting Chrono Flame at everything, so
Yeah.
it it's a fun class because it's just like you're constantly procking and you're just throwing things out and numbers are all over the screen and you just
The other
feel
thing I
good
love
inside.
about Prez, especially, is I love that there's two builds. I only
Yeah,
prefer the Echo build,
yeah.
but I love that there's two builds, and you can be relevant with both. Like the Emerald Blossom build is still pretty good in Mythic
It's
Plus.
it as long as like the people you're playing with understand don't run outside of the
Yeah, the blossom.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
as long as people don't run outside of that, it's totally fine.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you click a little more buttons when you play the
Echo build.
your
I
Echo
love it.
build.
It's so
So
fun. There's so many interactions about Prez. I guarantee you, if you could, if there is a fight where in raid, I'm talking like high end raiding. Just love watching the race, right? Um, I think if there was a fight where Prez was able to be like in within their range the whole time reasonably,
yeah,
I think you would see some insane shit pulled off by these high end guilds with Prez. It's
I think
such a high skill ceiling.
yeah,
It's an amazing healer.
I
I
think
love it.
I think that's the only thing like that would be like the downside for me is just like you're like in this half and half range where like your range are behind you, but your melee's still in front of you, and now you're close
And
enough
you
to get hit
need
by things that you probably the other healers wouldn't.
yeah, and you need them to be in front of you to properly do
To
your green
heal.
breath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah, dude, I had a macro when I was queuing M plus a little bit as Prez. I had a macro that was like, "I am your Prez healer. Please stand near or on me,
y-
or preferably in front of me."
yeah, like I think the only one that hits behind you would be Spirit Bloom, and I
Yeah,
mean that's not a peak move by any means.
it's I mean it's
It's
a big snap heal.
it's all right, but your other three, four heals is all in front of you.
Yeah, you
So it's
definitely
like,
want to cast it and snap that in your stasis.
yeah, yeah. So
It's huge.
so yeah,
Just even that stasis, that one spell to me is like there's so much potential. You can snap your, or you can screenshot your what's the term? Um, oh my
like
god, capture.
yeah,
Sorry, capture your like your dispels, your burn, your cauterizing wound. Any heal. It's just yeah, I love it. I
yeah.
know it's not a new spec, but
I'll probably play Prez for a decent amount. I might go Devastation
yeah.
for
See,
done.
that's the
We'll
other thing.
see.
Dev is a really fun spec too. So if Aug could kind of like go to the background for a little bit,
Yeah, it would be
Dev would
nice.
be Dev would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, other than that, like I think I have 7 or 8 characters sitting at 70. So like, I mean, I have
Yeah, and leveling is so fast.
you can like I think they'll end up nerfing the XP you get from like dungeons early
I don't
on.
know. I think this is kind of the point because of those like level boosts or not level boosts, sorry, like the experience boosts after every
Yeah,
70 you hit, I think it's up to 50%.
no, 25.
Oh, 25.
Yeah, yeah, like
So I mean, even
no,
that.
so it's yeah, but like it's so fat. Like at 70, like if you complete one character, do the campaign and everything, you get your character. You can like immediately hop into a character, do a dungeon, and then it's
Then
like,
keep going.
and that first dungeon is a whole level pretty much,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
just like you bang it out in
I
four
plan
hours.
to I went through the main story on my main uh completed all that. I've started doing the side quests a little bit on him. Um, but next characters I level, I'll just pick his own, like my warriors in Hallowfall,
Yeah,
and I'll just do Hallowfall entirely, like
yeah.
from top to bottom. And then the next character I'll go Ask Ahead or Ring of
So
Deeps, whatever. Right?
when you max a character, do you have to
Yeah,
do the story on the next one, or
nope.
is no? It's just completed already.
It's like you remember how Legion was the scouting maps when you
Yes.
picked a zone. It's that. you pick a zone.
Oh, okay. So then, oh, that's kind of nice then, because
But you could, I mean, you could do the campaign, like you could
again,
follow that path again.
yeah,
There's
there's
nothing
there's no
stopping you from doing that, but
no real reason to though.
it's just you have to do that the first
The
time,
first
and
time,
then you can level how
but
you want.
understandable. Here's the
Yep,
story. You get the gist
absolutely.
of it, why you're here, what you're doing,
Yep,
what the plan
yep,
is for the raid, right? So
yep.
that's nice though, because then at least you can essentially a character do one for the main story, and then you have five
You have like
characters.
four.
Yeah,
Yeah,
four other characters. You finish all the zones with all the side quests. You've done everything,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
And I love, dude. I've never done this much open world content before, but like I don't mind doing it now because I only have to do it once on my account. Renown is account wide.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
I
achievement progress is account wide. I'm way happier to do all of this completely.
the
Whereas before I just did the necessity. Like I would just level to max and I only queued Mythic Plus.
yeah, and that's a I think that even with Dragonflight at the end of Dragonflight, where it was like they would give you the buff, where it's like, okay, your main is maxed out in
Yeah,
3, and it's halfway done in the other 2. It's like your other characters get a buff, and like it's nice and all that, but like
it's fine.
it's still annoying to like.
It's
It was
so
so annoying
annoying.
to like have to be like, hey, here's
Looking
all
at
the
an
main
alt
story quests.
and looking down the barrel of like fucking days worth of just catch up to get to where you wanted.
It's so bad. Like
So bad, man. Like
it's
my mage, like I was saying earlier, I wanted to play my mage. There's no way in hell I don't have the attention span anymore to start that from scratch.
no, and like it gets so repetitive. Like this is probably the best spot that they've been in like a long time in
Oh yeah,
terms
for
of like
alts especially.
not even like main character, but yeah, alts as well, where it's like
Yeah,
it's not overly repetitive to level up, and it's not like overwhelming
yeah.
for other people.
It's
Like,
smooth. It's very smooth.
yeah, because like you know, okay, the WoW tryhards they got like 7 characters, right? Like,
Dude, have you seen? Sorry, side tangent. Have you seen some of the like high mythic guilds?
yeah,
I saw an Echo player has 1880s. He posted a screenshot like the day after early release started.
yeah,
18 little 80s.
yeah. Where it's just like that's overwhelming for a lot of people, and
That's
like it's also super
crazy.
repetitive. Where
Yeah.
it's like I don't,
You want to talk about repetitive? They were only evokers and druids.
yeah. Where it's like
18 characters, all evokers and druids.
where it's like why
Do you know why they do
why?
that though?
It's just best stuff for different.
They do because there's a heroic week this tier.
Yeah,
So heroic is out for a week and then mythic the week after. They've confirmed, which I don't know. I'm not. It doesn't affect us at all.
yeah,
But it's better content to watch the Race to World first when there's a heroic week.
yeah.
Anyways, they've already said season 2 there won't be heroic week. Whatever. That's a whole different tangent. But they do it because during heroic week they run like holy fuck, dude, 20, 30 runs of heroic, and they do different characters. Whatever character gets the best gear on their run, that's the character they focus on gearing the next week.
The next, yeah, which yeah, it makes sense. They're just pumping.
Yep.
Well, because like season 3 Dragonflight with
Because
a
they're going to be able
Midrisil.
to do the raid.
Think about like how many like heroic kills they were doing in a single day.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. it was
Absolutely nuts.
it was
Yeah.
disgusting. And like
It was. I wish I was off. Have you ever been off when they're doing their heroic runs?
no, no. I mean,
You
I'll
can get
probably
in.
catch it
You
this.
can. Yeah, you can get in on their Discord and get in on their split runs,
Yeah,
and you just like feed them gear, and man, you make bank.
that's what I mean. Like, yeah, that's. I mean, what are your
They buy it for like thousands, hundred thousands.
what are your odds of getting in though?
Not bad. I mean, they do so many fucking
I
runs
get,
if you're
yeah.
on in there, right?
So do they limit the amount you can do? You're like, all right, we're with you for 5 runs, or
Well, you
well,
can only do it for your lockout, right?
yeah,
They're basically buying your lockout off of you.
yeah, okay, fair.
So the more 80s you have, the variety would be good too because they're gonna want to focus on
Different,
certain
different things.
gear types,
You
right?
could just be the lockout plug for Liquid.
I mean, you make bank, you're set up for the expansion, right? Almost.
Pretty much.
If you
Well, like
sell enough.
now, yeah, I guess you just funnel all. If you wanted to, you could funnel all the gold to one character, buy what you
Yeah.
need for the rest of the expansion. You don't
Yeah.
need to bank on that
I've been
BOE
loading
drop.
everything into my guild bank or warband bank. All my money is in there. because you can just summon that portal and withdraw from what you need.
Yeah, yeah. That's the only
I've
thing.
been
Is there somewhere I didn't even pay attention when we were playing. Is there somewhere else you can access your warband? Is it just a normal
any
bank?
bank.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the one
Yep.
thing
There'll
I
be a
don't
tab.
like is like I'm just getting stuff from like chess and things like that and like BOE drops. It's like it's a 2 hour cool it's something it's a
Yeah.
2 hour cooldown.
The
It's like
portal to summon. You're saying?
yeah. It's
Yeah. It
so
is. It's a
friggin'
long
annoying.
cooldown. Um,
I
I've
think
noticed though it's pretty quick to get around the island.
yeah.
I've liked that. It's been pretty. It doesn't feel like the zones are massive. The
Which
zones
is
are beautiful.
which is wild. It's like how massive the zones are.
Yeah.
It's still so quick to get around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we were talking about that the other week of like dragon flying like in the open world. It's like doing like mog runs and like mount runs and stuff like that. It's like okay, if I want to go from like Shatrath all the way over to the raid for Ashes of Alar, it
Mm.
takes like literally like a minute, minute and a half. Where it
Yeah.
was like before you would fly up, just directly up, hit the auto
Hit
run
your
button.
yeah. Hit your auto run. Go take a piss.
Yeah, go start making some food, and by the time you're there, I mean your food's probably close to done, and then you're good to go. It
Yeah.
was yeah,
Yeah.
or just use the flight
I
path.
I do like it as an option that you can toggle on and off now. I think that's really good for players
It's
that there is times where you want to just hover in the air and not man it, not worry about flying. So
yeah,
I have a keybound to swap back and forth. It's pretty quick.
yeah, and that's yeah, it's nice because I mean sometimes it's annoying to like you are like flying around and then like you notice something at like especially in like Hollow Fall, it's got a lot
Yeah.
of high ceilings. Like the ceiling is very very high on that section of the map.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you're flying around and like burning all your vigor and then it's just like you notice like a one of the skywriting talents or something or like a chest is like at the top of the
Or a node. You gotta
yeah.
stop and get off. You spend another vigor to jump again after you grabbed a node.
Yeah, it's just like okay, it's I'll just swap over, fly up,
Yeah,
grab
if
it.
you're farming, I could see that being good.
Yeah. So, well, what? Because I don't know if the I know like not the Mechano Hog. What is it called? The one that you don't have to unmount to
Oh, the shredder
the shredder.
mount.
Yeah. Do the new versions of those? Because there's a few new ones
There's talents in your gathering professions, like
that.
in the specialization trees, that you can mount and harvest.
Mhm.
That well, it says specifically for dragon riding or whatever the new term is, sky
Yeah.
riding.
Yeah.
You can sky ride and like you can stay on your mount and harvest.
Mhm.
But they're locked behind like 60 points or 50
Yeah.
points in the tree. So,
It's kind of
but
annoying.
I don't know if the like you're asking the shredder. I don't know if that would work if you could do that in the new zones. Maybe I've never tried it.
It's
I don't
something.
think I have one. I think I have the one for herbalism. There's one that's only herbalism.
Yeah, there's one for herbalism and then there's one for mining, I think. Is it
Yeah, I don't
mining?
have
Yeah.
one for mining, so I
Yeah.
don't. And
I
I
mean,
haven't been
it's
doing herbalism.
I'll be interested to see. Well, because there is is it two or three new, not the Keystone one, because there's going to be one for Keystone where it's like a mech or
Hmm.
whatever. I don't think that will have any relation to professions at all.
No, I don't think
But
so.
there's
I think
one,
it'll be just a skin.
there is one directly related to professions.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, that looks like the ones in Ringing Deep, the mechs that
Oh,
are in
okay.
Ringing Deep.
I know there's one for delves. The one
Yeah,
in delves you can unlock like unique customizations for it too. Like you can get
yeah.
different arms and shit for it or something.
Oh, it was it. I thought it was just like the flying boat.
Or is it the boat? Yeah,
There's a
it's the
boat.
boat.
It's a
Sorry.
boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So do you need to? I haven't even looked. Is there an achievement for that,
It's
or is it just
yeah, I
chance?
think it's all it's either achievements or like there's different secrets in each delve you can go
Mm,
find or something. I don't know. It'll be like an endless grind sort of, but
yeah,
um well, how much time we have? We can we can talk about the 13th delve a little bit, speculate on it. Nothing
yeah.
else has been confirmed,
See what happens by the next episode, kind
but
of thing.
yeah, it sounds like we should keep an eye on that. I'm super hyped for it. A lot of copium on it that it could be a really good thing.
Too
So
much
much potential for them.
copium.
Potentially way too much copium. Um, they have such a huge potential to drop the ball, but like I am hoping anything Mage Tower esque, like just I imagine, dude,
Yeah.
imagine a dungeon, like or imagine a Mage Tower challenge, but you could do it as like a 5-man dungeon group. I
It would
think to me that sounds so fun.
like a genuine challenge.
A genuine challenge, like give me a
That
steep curve.
yeah, that's
You know what I
not
mean?
that's not like Keystone based where it's like you're constantly keeping like you have to keep such a fast pace
Yeah,
because you're like
I
I
don't
have to
care
time this, I
if
have to
it's
kill
like
this much.
if it's like a I don't know how to put it to words, but I want to be able to like let's say this comes out week 1, whatever, right? The first week that this is out,
Yeah,
you know, I want it to be possible, but like by the fucking skin of your teeth.
like
Like it has to be
you have to play perfectly and you have to
play
know your class.
perfectly. You have to know what you're doing. It's you guys have to be in sync. I think that is okay for the first week or two, and then as you're naturally gaining gear, that becomes easier. Now, I don't want it to be like you get 2 to 3 weeks of gear, 2 to 3 weeks of vault. Now, I mean, if you play a lot, you could probably get to that point anyway in that timeline. But I want it to be like, okay, you've got 2 weeks worth of gear, and it's like, here's another phase. Here's a secret fucking third
Yeah,
phase
like
that you didn't get to.
it a, a challenge that's hard throughout the season would be nice. Like where it's just
Yeah.
like we're not by the end of the season where it's like it's just a cakewalk by the time you get to it. Where it's like
Hmm.
where you're fully geared, it's like yeah, you're flying through a +8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a plus
Yeah.
eight's no longer a challenge, but like that's the point of the Keystone is like it's not only kind of skill based and like how much you can maximize the output of your class. It would be nice to be like, hey, you have to get every, this delve, you have to get every mechanic perfect. Like, you
If
can't
they were
step in
to
shit.
tune it too, like they could tune it in a way, and if they, I honestly feel like if they brought, do you remember scrolls in BFA, the buff scrolls?
Yeah, yeah,
You could like get a scroll that was like a lesser version of Arcane Intellect, but you
yeah,
still had Arcane Intellect. Um, if they gave that as like, I wish they could do that for everything. It would
yeah,
fix a lot of the meta comps. But if they could do it for just this 13th delve and you could go in, have all of these buffs, so you can play with a bunch of different comps. Like I'd like to see, okay, what if we did a evoker healer, like a pres healer, where it's big burst damage, but it's also a bit of extra damage coming from the healer because
yeah,
of the way that that works.
yeah,
That maybe we can push a little further with that healer versus a holy pally or whatever, right?
yeah, yeah,
And then or maybe like a hey, let's get you on your blood DK, maybe you can live by yourself through this part a little longer and I can worry about healing the group
healing the
versus
group, yeah,
right. And
where
I
it's,
want different thought processes of how to get around that challenge.
yeah, no, and yeah, I guess we'll just have to, we'll
We'll have
see
to
in the
see.
next coming,
Huge copium.
is Delves fully accessible next week?
I don't think fully. I think they kind of fully kick off when the season launches on September like
Mm,
12th, I think,
yeah.
or 19th.
Oh
I
yeah,
want
because
to say 19th.
there is season rewards for
I
Delves,
got
so
it up.
yeah.
September 17th, Mythic Raid and Mythic Plus Dungeons open. Raid Find Your Wing 2 opens.
So
And Raid Story Mode opens.
a
Oh, yeah, you
little,
heard about that? Real quick tangent.
yeah,
The story mode?
I don't know. I'm probably never gonna.
It's not for us because
Yeah.
we'll just do the raid naturally, but I like it. It's a neat idea
Is it
to
just
be,
like a single?
it's like a imagine the fights reduced by like I'm gonna make up a number 75%.
So the fight's reduced down to like a dungeon level,
It's
like
super
a
easy
normal
and like a
dungeon level.
solo queue. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
5-man group content. I think.
I guess it's kind of cool if you're
I think it's
more
good
of a
if like
casual
there's
player.
yeah a few people. I imagine the dad that gets home from work and can't commit to a raid team.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
pretty
mean?
much. Yeah.
They can
Just
still experience the story because I mean a lot of them miss out on that story if they don't actually raid, right?
yeah, yeah. So
Or they
yeah,
have to wait for LFR,
it's
and that's not fun.
no, God no.
So
It also just it doesn't feel like you're doing the right because like LFR, it's like yeah, you're probably gonna do it if you don't have like if there's one person who's in the raid who like isn't like overly geared and has no reason to actually be there.
yeah,
You just died till you get enough versions of the buff where you're now
the
geared
determination,
enough, and then
yeah,
you'll do it. It's such a shitty way of
pain in
going
the
about
ass,
it. Like it's,
yeah,
I mean it's LFR, you know.
yeah. And I don't think the story mode. I don't think it gives like gear. I think it's purely for
So you can see the
experiencing the
story.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is
It's
good. I like it. It's a low effort thing from them,
yeah,
but it's a huge impact.
It's nice, yeah, because there are, I guess, quite a few people who maybe like just do dungeon, like maybe Mythic Plus dungeons, open world content, stuff like that, and they
Yeah.
overwhelmed by the raid, but still want to like experience it in some sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gives them an opportunity kind of thing. So,
Totally.
but yeah,
No, keep an eye on that and go from there. But yeah, I think that's
that shall
pretty
be
much all we
the
wanted to talk about this week.
yeah, wrap that up
So
as pilot episode 1.
we'll have the Discord below. Please subscribe, tell your friends. It's gonna be very erratic. I don't think it's gonna have a lot of structure.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
I don't really want it to have structure. I don't want to have a script in front of me.
we might spark
You know what
note
I
some
mean?
things, but other than that,
Maybe spark notes a little bit, but I want to just yap every week. Talk about WoW. There's a lot happening. I think it's a new era for WoW. Uh, this early access to me, did I like it? I had a bit of fun. I thought it was good.
yeah,
It's definitely for the way that I plan to play and mainly just do Mythic Plus. I like that I have this time to do the story, do the side quests, and not have to worry about it.
yeah, enjoy it and not
So
rush it.
I think it's good for those that want to do it, and it's totally irrelevant if you didn't do it. You're not missing anything.
You're not getting
The,
not getting a ledge.
no, there's no power gain. You're not behind, so I think it's good. But yeah,
All right. On that note, I guess we'll sign off on that one.
adios.
See ya.